Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2015. This will be Players of the Game for Week 7. I'm Dale Ross.
I'm the pit man, Matt Morrow, and I know you've attended a couple games.
Oh, man. I stood in the rain Friday night and watched East Mecklenburg and Butler play, so I do have a couple of players from that ball game. I'm putting Christian Thomas, the field goal kicker, or the kicker for East Mecklenburg. His kick, with about 2 minutes left in the game, of 45 yards, won the ball game. And I saw the kid kick I think it was a 44-yarder early in the season. I know he's kicked several 40-plus yard kicks, and I was talking with a few friends up in the stands when this went on, and as I told them, I would trust Coach Schuford, trust that kicker. Schuford did want the wind in the fourth quarter, so he made sure at the second half that's what they got. And that did help a little bit, but the kid has kicked several 40-plus yard kicks. He's a really good kicker. East won that ball game, a big upset. Rain conditions, other conditions, whatever. It was a big kick. So that's my player of the game. And then for Butler, Butler, of course, had to have a running back to step up.
Right.
Antwan Bivens, if you remember, we saw him in the scrimmage back a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but
I do remember.
We were asking Coach Hells about the kid then, and he very tough conditions. He had 135 yards, and he had the one TD for Butler. I thought he played well in his role of having to step up with LeMay not playing Friday night, and he did very well. So that's my players from that game. I also last night, and Matt didn't go to any games, folks. Sorry. So I'm just rolling right along till we get to Matt's extensive list. Last night I went to see the A.O. Brown Vance game, and Damon Johnson. Really, the numbers aren't outstanding. 136 yards, 2 TDs, and he ran for a TD of 64 yards. Those numbers are pretty outstanding. It was just how he did it, how he played. He looked very solid, very good. As I went back over the game, it was like, really, Vance lost, but they didn't give up, an extraordinary amount of yards, etc. But this kid played very good football, and I think very deserving. He led his team to, some are calling an upset win. I'm not thinking quite so upset right now. And then, the guy that's been on here before, but I thought he played well both in the run game. In the run game, and I'm talking about Jalen Cagle. Yeah. He had 105 yards and a 35-yard TD, but they also put him at slot, and he played various positions, and I thought played well, and really helped keep that Vance defense off key. Played a great ball game. I do not have any players from Vance. I just really didn't see the outstanding play. They had 14 points. Not a great night for them. So no players from Vance. I'm sorry.
Great job to all you guys. Excellent. All right, for me, I'm gonna get started. James Smith from Mallard Creek's been on here multiple times throughout his career. Not the best numbers that he's ever posted, but a good job. 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also a 20-yard run for a touchdown in Mallard Creek's victory over Hopewell.
That was in the pouring rain.
That's right.
So he did
threw the ball well in the rain.
That's right.
That's commendable. Darnell Walker from Mallard Creek, 105 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in his own right in that victory over Hopewell. Demontrez Burroughs, whose name keeps popping up all of a sudden for North Meck, had another great game. 7 catches for 119 yards and a touchdown, returned another kick for a touchdown, and also intercepted a pass in the game they had at North Meck. So, that's a great job to Mr. Burroughs, who's becoming a frequent visitor to the Players of the Week. Talked to an assistant coach at Olympic. He wanted to shout out the Olympic defense for doing a great overall job. Said all you guys played well as a unit. And they wanted to recognize the whole unit in their victory over Ardrey Kell, which was an upset.
Congratulations to the defense. We call out defenses when they play well, and you guys played well.
Most definitely. Miles Friday, per reports, at West Charlotte had 4 sacks for a defensive lineman. That's awesome.
That is.
And that quarterback, Coles, is hard to corral. And that was in their loss to North Meck. So, great job to Mr. Friday.
Yeah, okay. I see Mount Pleasant.
We're getting there.
That's where we're at, ain't it? No. Oh,
yet.
I'm sorry.
Not yet.
I have to cut that out. Go ahead.
Cox Mills got a couple guys here. Tyler Arnold, running back, 192 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in their 27-10 win over South Rowan. Mr. Arnold wanted to shout out one of his linemen, John Draper. Big lineman, he led the way in the running game. And when a running back shouts out an offensive lineman, you deserve that recognition.
Exactly.
And then, of course, our favorite at Mount Pleasant.
It wouldn't be Cody Reece, would it?
Cody Reece.
Did he? So I didn't even look because I wanted to wait and see. I wanted to be surprised. So, did he have more than 40 carries?
No.
No?
They gave him a break tonight.
Oh, really? How many?
25 carries.
Oh, is that all?
195 yards.
He must have been selling popcorn.
195 yards and 3 touchdowns in their 42-0 victory over Northwestern Bears.
Wow.
And this is what I like. The Mount Pleasant offensive line was featured because of their great run blocking in that game. And one of the quotes from one of their linemen says, "This is what we do. We're going to line up and we're going to hit you square in the mouth." That's an offensive lineman right there.
Right.
And that's what you want on your team as you know, if you're a heavy run first team like them, that's the philosophy they got. And I'll tell you, I love hearing that.
If you're running back and that's the way your linemen talk, you need to be buying them pancakes or something.
Oh, yeah.
Buy them pancakes because then they'll give you some pancakes in the game.
And I know you guys.
Yes, I do. So I talked with Coach White about his game with Phillip O'Berry. So South Mecklenburg playing Phillip O'Berry and Jonathan Doerer, the place kicker. He had 3 field goals in the ball game. They were very important, 33, 32, and 29 yards.
Good job.
Good job. That kid's been on here a couple of times already this year. Good kicker, very good kicker. Josh McNeely, 8 tackles and 1 pass breakup. Pretty good numbers there. Coach wanted to shout you out, and then we hear about one defensive end a lot over at South Mecklenburg, but there's another, Jack Lawler. 2.5 sacks. Oh. So, Coach.
That ain't easy against Berry.
No, it isn't. Because the next guy that I've got here is, he's been on here a few times, and he is kind of one of my favorites, I guess. I'm going to say it. I'm watching this kid each week now to see what he's doing because I really like the way he plays. And that's Bryan Digsby, the tight end playing quarterback. 23 of 47, so not quite 50%, but against that defense, that's not bad. 243 yards and three touchdowns. So he played a big part in that game. Was close into the third quarter, and South had to, South pulled away late, which good teams will do that, but. Bryan's play has kept his team in a lot of big ball games, and we know there are other players on the team, but you're here again.
Yeah, Kusegi Curitan had 2 touchdown catches, and he's obviously one of the best receivers in Charlotte.
And we've had him
week in and week out.
Exactly. So I don't know if you had him in your list, but yeah, definitely he's been on here many times. Good, he's a great ball player.
Yes, he is. Jordan Johnson, Concord Cannon, 108 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in their 62-0 win over Grace Crossing, which I found out Grace Crossing is in Charlotte.
Right.
So you remember a couple weeks ago I said, "Where's Grace Crossing?"
Right.
And so it's right here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Where's it at?
I don't know. Somewhere. No offense to Grace Crossing, but I just found out.
If it, when I send out the tweets, I don't believe I found a Twitter account for this place. So they're probably not knowing we're doing this, but if you pick up on it, let us know who you are.
A couple from Weddington, Denzel Patton, big defensive tackle, had 2 defensive touchdowns, both off of fumble recoveries. I mean, that's rare. I played football all my life. I couldn't score. This kid gets 2 in one game.
It's rare that a defensive lineman scores, period.
Yeah.
To score twice in one ball game,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And that was in their 31-0 victory over Country Day.
So maybe you should be player of the week for everything.
Keith Duncan, the Weddington kicker, had a 48-yard field goal, which is impressive in its own right. But that kick tied the state record for field goals in a career, which is 37. So that's awesome for Mr. Duncan, and he'll probably break that record. We got several games left in the season.
Yes.
So great job.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Tied the record. 37 kicks in a career?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have thought some of our previous kickers would have had that many. That's awesome.
Yes, it's awesome.
They must trust you.
Oh, yeah. Chaz Surratt, of course.
Yeah.
East Lincoln, 324 total yards, including 190 rushing, which is a little different. So
Right.
now we can call him a dual threat on top of everything else we call him. And 4 total touchdowns in their 40-21 victory over Lincoln in that big rivalry out there.
Mm-hmm.
Moe Neal, Forestview, frequent visitor to the players of the game. 236 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns and 38-11 win over Stuart Kramer. Opry, Washington. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I think it's a pre, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
Mountain Island Charter. 173 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns in their 34-0 win over Highland Tech.
yeah.
We got a good acquaintance up there. It's the coach of Mountain Island Charter, so that's a great job getting the win in that game. Of course, nominations from the site. MHS does a great job. Here's a few of his. Devon Weiss for Alexander Central, running back and defensive back, 26 carries, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also had 5 tackles in a 42-28 win over North Iredale. Love the two-way players.
Love those two-way players.
Way to get it done. Justice Millsaps for North Iredale, defensive back, had 2 interceptions and one of them being a pick 6, so that's a great night for you and a loss.
That's right.
Don Shell Jetton for Mooresville, 18 carries, 153 yards, and 4 touchdowns in the victory over Statesville. I'm sorry, that was against North Lincoln. But they played on Monday and they played on Friday. He had 46 carries, 419 yards, and 6 TDs in 1 week.
Wow.
And those are both in victories over Statesville and North Lincoln.
Yeah, remember, some kids don't have that in the season, so
That's awesome.
that's awesome.
South Iredale defense held West Iredale to 42 yards of offense, forced 6 3-and-outs and 8 punts. Great job, South Iredale.
Wow.
Also for South Iredale, Tyree Hallman, running back, 22 carries, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that victory. I think that's it.
All right. Well, good. Didn't call out the whole state. We thank, we commend each of you. We look for people to give us names so we don't have to go out and keep hunting these players, coaches, fans. You see somebody doing something great, win or lose, let us know about it. We want to hear about linemen. We want to hear about defensive players.
Yes.
It gets a little boring to hear just about the running backs and the receivers and the quarterbacks. You know, you're the guys always getting the headlines. Let's give these other guys some headlines. Thanks. You know how to contact us. If not, tweet me. Get a hold of Pet Man. He's got a Twitter account too. He just needs to start using it.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Let us know on the site. Send us email. It doesn't matter. Just get a hold of us and let us know. Thank you.